Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Melanie here from Mel's Inky Fingers. Welcome. I'm glad you're here to craft with me today. I'm going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to find me. It's always a highlight of my week to get to spend this hour with you. So hopefully you're able to sneak away and chit chat a little bit. So, all right. It looks like we are all set. Whoops. Sorry, that was loud. So hello everyone, welcome. Oh my goodness, it looks like my screen is very crooked. Let me quickly fix that just a little bit here. Sorry about that. So hello, welcome, and happy Friday. I'm glad you're here. Today we are going to work with the adorable Sophisticated Sled Bundle. I have really enjoyed working with this. I've worked with it a lot lately, and you may have seen that it's also the featured bundle for my October 2024 Creatively Inked Kit. I know you're going to love it when I show you what we're going to make today. Look at. Aren't these adorable? They're so cute. I can't wait to share how I made those. So we're using the stamps and the dies today, and my focus is the sled, although the ice skates are absolutely adorable as well. So hello and welcome. Happy Friday. I'm glad you're here. When you jump on, say hello and let me know you're with me today. It's always nice to know who I'm getting the opportunity to chat with. So hello and welcome. So I have just a couple of announcements today before we get started creating with the Sophisticated Sled. The Stampin' Up! Has a couple of specials going this month. First of all of the kits in my online store are on sale, up to 30% off. Oh, my view is really tight. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining today. Sorry, I'm moving this, and I know that's always a bad thing once we get started to move the camera. That really upsets some people. It makes it really hard for them. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. So a reminder that all the kits in my online store. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. Oh, good. Everyone is finding me and jumping on. That's awesome. So just a reminder that Stampin' Up! Has the kits on sale this month. All the way through till the 31st, all the kits in my online store are discounted up to 30%. The kits have just been amazing lately. And even the 2 kits that they released this month are even on sale. And I'm going to be jumping on. I'm hoping to get the opportunity to jump on this weekend and do a little live, little mini unboxing of the online exclusive products that I was able to just grab as a pre-order. As a demonstrator, you get to pre-order items a month before they go live to customers, which is a really amazing perk. First of all, you can be assured you're going to get something before it sells like hotcakes, and we do have products that sell super fast, so you can be assured you're going to get them. In addition, you get a discount every single day on any products that you would like to have, which is awesome. Not only is it just fun to know that you're always shopping with a discount, but 2, no matter when you need something, you're going to get the discount. So, and it's a great way to stretch your crafting budget. So grab your kits now before the end of the month. Second, Stampin' Up! Is offering a starter kit special. And yes, as a demonstrator, you get the sale prices on any products that Stampin' Up! Has on sale. They treat demonstrators just like their customers. It's awesome. So what is the starter kit special this month? Well, normally Stampin' Up! Offers a starter kit for $99 plus tax, and it includes any $125 of products that you would like. And this month they're adding an additional $30. So you actually get to choose $155 worth of anything you would like for only $99 plus the tax, and they will ship it free. So shipping is 11%. So it saves you like $18 in shipping. Plus they're going to throw in a paper pumpkin kit, which is another $22 as a gift. So it's a really great time to join the Stampin' Up! Community and be part of my Mel's Inky Fingers team. We stretch all across the country from the Midwest all the way to the West Coast. We have a lot of fun together. We create, we chit chat. Stampin' Up! Is a great way to meet tons of crafty friends, and the inspiration that you will receive is just limitless. So if you have any interest, go to my blog, melsinkyfingers.com, visit the Join the Fun tab, which is at the very top, across the top of my blog. Any questions that you may have will be answered there. You may also reach out to me at melsinkyfingers@gmail.com with any questions. I'd love to welcome you. All right, and one last reminder, well, I guess this might be the second to the last reminder. Creatively Inked October 2024, the subscription period is coming to an end. We are going to be using the Sophisticated Sled Bundle as the featured bundle this month. So when you subscribe to Creatively Inked, you're going to automatically receive a kit shipped directly to you each month, and the shipping is included in your monthly fee, and it's going to include at least 5 projects, and this month there's 6. How awesome is that? You will receive a completed bonus project. You're going to get about $20 of carefully selected and coordinated Stampin' Up! Products that go really well with the featured bundle. You will receive your kits all cut. The embossing is done, die cutting is done, it's scored, ready to be created with, except what you need your featured bundle for. There will be no stamping, and none of these images are die cut for you, okay? You will receive a discount on the featured bundle if you choose to add it with your kit. When I order the supplies to create the kits, after the subscription period ends, I get all the bundles that were ordered, and I pay that extra shipping and tax for you, so it saves you almost 20%. It's an incredible savings. There's always a little treat or gift in there for you. You get an absolutely amazing PDF tutorial. This is the August. Look how amazing. This is step-by-step instructions with photos, nice big colored photos. There's links in there that include links to videos to give you tips and tricks on some of the things that you may need to do to create your projects, which is super helpful. If you don't need the videos, you don't have to view them, but they're there if you would like them. Every month you will receive an overview video going through all the contents of your kit and then any tips for assembling your projects. And then after 6 continuous months, I thank you with a gift of $20 to $25 of product that I know you're going to love and be able to use in your Creatively Inked creating. So all that for only $39, and that includes the shipping to you. So here's a little sneak peek of some of what we're going to create this month. They're beautiful. And this has another little project inside of it. So I hope you subscribe. I'll include the link to the subscription details here in the video description here after we're done. So if you have any questions, you can click on that. You can go see what it's all about, see if it's for you. And if you'd like to try it, subscribe. You've got nothing to lose. If you decide it's not for you, it's okay. You just cancel your subscription. It's very easy. Your payment will automatically be handled for you each month through PayPal. And all you need to do is go into your PayPal account and click cancel, and your subscription will stop. So very, very easy. All right. So here is what we're going to create today. Are these not the cutest? It's a card and a tag. So the holiday season is coming. We need lots of really cute projects and tags for our gifts. So we're going to create these today, and I'm going to do a little variation of each of these, and then you can decide which you like the most. So hopefully you like these. I think they're really, really cute. Super, super cute. All right. So let's start by making our card. So we use the stamps as the focal point for this particular project, and the tag, the focal point, will mostly be the dies. I like to show you how you have options when you're working with the bundles. Now today I focused on the sled. However, you do have the option of these adorable skates, which I just love. This reminds me everything winter when I was growing up. We went skating 3 days every single week. We had the rink in town. We were constantly outside sledding, and I mean big hills, like ski hill size hills, huge, super, super fun, tons of hours outside. So this is kind of near and dear to me. I love the nostalgia here. And then I really love that you have the option of stamping, and you have the open dies that will cut out your stamped images, Or you have the option of die cutting the skates. And there's even this super cute little die right here that die cuts laces, and you slide them in. They're just adorable. They're the cutest little skates. And then the sled, you have the runners, the runners, and then this really cool piece here, which we're going to use on the tag, which die cuts the pieces to go on the runners, and it puts this really cool wood grain detail on it. Or you have this large outline that allows you to die cut the stamped sled, which we're going to use on the card. We're also going to use this to create the base for our tag. So you can mix and match your dies with your stamped images, and the possibilities are really endless when there's so much coordination within a bundle for you. So we're going to do a little variation of this card, but let's talk about this one first. So on this card, I added a layer of balmy blue cardstock that you can see behind, and then I covered it with a layer of one of my favorite vellums that we've had, and I'm hoping the detail picks up. So this vellum is from, we've used this, if you joined me for my Christmas in July event, you had the opportunity to use this. So this is the Graceful Greenery Vellum. Hi Sharon, welcome. This is a pack that has 3 different patterns in it, and it coordinates with a bundle. This is in my online exclusives, but one of the patterns is this beautiful vellum. It has a distressed pattern, and it's pearl. So it has a little shimmer to it, which is hard to pick up on camera. But I love vellum for creating just a soft background look. So on this particular card, I laid the vellum over the balmy blue, and it just created this soft winter sky look. But before I adhered it in place, I ran it through the Snowflake Sky embossing folder to put some snow and some snowflakes on it. So not only does it help create the soft color, it also adds all the texture and detail of the adorable little snowflakes in the background. Isn't that cute? And then of course the snow, which we're going to make on the card, we'll do together. And then I layered up the rest of the elements. So the card we're going to recreate together is going to be very similar, except I'm going to use the vellum in a different layer, and I'm going to create the snowflakes using the stamp set, because you have this really cute snowflake stamp here, and we're going to add our snowflakes by stamping instead of using our embossing folder. And then you get to decide how you prefer the snow. All right? All right, so let's get started. So we're going to use a lot of white for this card. So we have a standard card base cut 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score it at 4 1/4 and burnish it well here. All right, so we have a nice good fold there. Then we're going to have a second piece that's cut 4. Actually, I'm going to, well, I guess I'll leave this. I might cut this down a little bit. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's the same size that I used on this card as well. All right, 4 by 5 1/4 for that background. Then we have a piece that's big enough to stamp our sled. So this is 2.5 by 4.5. So we're going to stamp our sled on there. And then we have a piece to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to show you a little trick with your photopolymer stamps when we do our sentiment. Then I have a couple of scrap pieces that I grabbed that are 4 inches wide, and this is what we're going to use to create our snow. We're going to tear these layers and then distress the edges and layer them up to create our snow across the bottom. Now, I'm going to bring in the vellum, and I'm going to cover the front of the card. So this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of vellum, and it creates that really neat texture and the pearl. So when you look at it, if you want it shimmery, this is the shimmery side, and this side is a little softer. So depending on how prominent you want your pattern, I'm going to put this on the card front like that. I'm going to trim this piece down so that a little more of my vellum shows. So I decided at the last minute to layer that underneath. So we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to cut, I need a 1/4 inch off there. So we're just going to guess. Yeah, I think that's about a 1/4 inch. All right. So let's see how I did. Is this 3 3/4 by 5 now? 3 3/4 by, yep, 5. So 3 3/4 by 5 on that front piece. Hi, Joan, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today we are creating with the Sophisticated Sled Bundle, which I absolutely love. All right, so we're going to adhere this down, and you want to kind of envision where you're going to have elements because vellum is a little tricky. The adhesive can show through if you're not careful. So you can do a couple things with vellum. You can put any adhesive of your choice down where you're going to have elements covering it so it doesn't show, but you can also adhere vellum in place with some liquid glue. What I like to do is I have a piece of sponge that I have labeled Tombow, and I put my glue on the sponge like this, and then I take it and I kind of dot it around like this. So you get just very, very small amounts. And this is a really lightweight product. You do not need a lot of adhesive to hold it in place. And I dot that adhesive around so it's really light. Then when you place it on your cardstock, it does not show through. So it's a little trick. It looks like I cut this just a smidge short, but that's right. So now you don't see any of that adhesive showing through, yet your vellum is adhered everywhere. So you don't have to worry about it showing through. I did not do a very good job of cutting this to size, so it's sticking out a little bit. Let's trim it. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. Much better. All right, so now we have our vellum background, which kind of adds to the snowy feel of this. So now we're going to take our 3 3/4 by 5 inch layer, and we're going to stamp some snowflakes on this, okay? So I'm going to take this cute little snowflake, and you could use Balmy Blue or Pool Party. I'm going to use Smoky Slate. And I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to stamp off and make this Smoky Slate really, really light. All right. So, and I'm going to stamp it randomly. So here's what it looks like full strength. And then I'm just going to do 1, 2. And that second one is really light. And I'm just going to continue to stamp randomly on my card base until I'm happy with the amount of snow that I have on there. And I just want there to be a little bit, not a lot. So when you're happy with how much is on there, you can stop. And now we're going to build up this layer, and then we'll adhere it in place when we're done. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's take our sled and stamp it. And I'm going to use basic gray for stamping the sled. This would also be really, really pretty stamped in any metallic embossing folder. It would just be super elegant and beautiful. But I'm going to color this with Stampin' Blends. Now, Stampin' Blend, the classic ink isn't really designed to work really well with classic ink. So I want to give this a chance to dry really, really well so that it doesn't get all smeared and gross when I color it with my blends. So I'm stamping it now, and I'm going to just set it aside and let it dry. So I'm using gray on this version. The original version was done in early espresso. So if you prefer the brown, you'll get a chance to see it done both ways and then decide which way you like it the most at the end. I'll share both with you. All right. So while that sled is drying, let's work on creating our snow that will be across the bottom. So I'm going to rip some pieces, and I want them to be kind of uneven. And we're going to layer those. And I'm going to use this, that's kind of a little high, so I'm going to just trim these down and trim them to 4 inches. Oh, actually, you know what? I did 3 3/4, so I am going to have to trim all these down since I changed the size of my layer. And we'll put that one in the back. And I want the layer with the exposed paper fibers to be in front. All right, and I'm just going to layer those like that. And then you can decide if you like 2, if you like 3, how many you want. I think I'm going to sneak this one in between the 2 that I already have down there. So I'm going to trim this to 3 3/4 since I changed my layer size, and I'm going to cut just a little off the bottom, and we're just going to guess. And let's see if this one is, yep, this one needs to be trimmed to 3 3/4 as well. And then once you have all of your layers, you can just adhere them together. But I don't want the centers together. I want to be able to kind of tuck that sled down in between these layers a little bit. So let's see how these work when they're put together. So it kind of looks like that. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Doesn't that look like a snowbank? Hi, Janet. Ooh, nice. Not that you're getting late lunch, but that you're joining. And then I'm going to just take my fingernail and I'm going to distress these edges. Okay, I want this to kind of look, snow isn't nice and smooth all the time, right? So you can use your fingernail, you could use your scissor blade, you can use anything that you want. Your scissor blade works really good on this. It may not work as good on these paper fibers. Let's just try it. The paper fibers might be a little thin, but yeah, it did kind of work. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue down towards the bottom. I don't want to glue this up towards the top because I want to be able to tuck my sled down in there. So on this one, I'm just going to put it in the bottom so that I have all this space here to kind of tuck that sled down in. So I'm just putting all 3 of these together. So with that Tombow, you can kind of move these and line them up a little bit. And that's going to go like that. Isn't that cool? Does it look like snow? I like that it looks like snow. All right. So let's adhere this right down like that. All right. So now we can turn our attention to our sled. So we are going to color our sled. I'm going to make it red. Now on this one, I chose real red. And on this one with the gray, I'm going to go a little more intense and I'm going to do cherry cobbler. So I'm just going to start with my cherry cobbler light. And you can use your brush tip or your bullet tip. It's personal preference. And I'm just going to get most of the color on, and then I'm going to go back. Oh, you know what? I forgot to grab a gray marker or a black. I'm going to have to run back to my room. I meant to grab that and then I forgot. So we're going to just get most of that color filled in, and then I'll go in with my bullet tip and get the edges. But while that's drying, let me run and get a gray. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I wasn't sure if I was going to need my smoky slate or my black, so we'll experiment a little bit together. All right, so now I'm just going to use my bullet tip, and I'm going to fill in these edges. So you can see the cherry cobbler is quite a bit darker than the real red. And I'm just going to go along these lines. I'm not layering up the color or doing anything fancy, but you certainly could. If you wanted to add some shading to your sled, it would be beautiful. I love that our markers have the bullet tip and give us the option of being able to do straight edges like this. So when you think of a classic sled like this, what colors come to mind for you? I never had a sled like this. I always had a toboggan. And toboggans were, they could be like this with wood and then metal runners and be really long and be able to seat a lot of people in them. I mean, I had friends that had toboggans like that. But when I say toboggan, we just had plastic ones that we used and took to the sled hill, and sometimes they got broken. All right, so let's see if this is the right color. So yeah, that looks good. So I'm using my light basic black, and I'm going to fill in just the little gaps here between the slats that I colored red. And I'm just filling in that white space. Okay, so now the sled is all done. So now I can use my open die that is sized perfectly to die cut this sled. So now we'll have this really cool element to add to our card. So let me put that here in my die cutting machine. I have my little mini here. I'm going to quickly crank that out. How cute is that? Love it. Love it, love it. And I'm going to leave this out because we're going to use it for our tag as well. All right, so now we can come in. I'm going to add this to our card base with some dimensionals. We're going to start assembling all of our elements now. So I'll put a few dimensionals here. And this is going to allow that pretty marbly vellum to pop out from behind. Isn't that pretty? And now we can take our sled. See how we can slide it down between these layers? Since we didn't adhere these layers all together, you have the option of putting it on at an angle. You can put one in, one out. You can do whatever you want with this sled now, or you can do it straight up and down. It's your choice. So I think I'm going to put mine maybe kind of like this. I'll do this one at an angle. I did the other one straight up and down. All right, so to adhere that, I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals in the back. You don't need a lot. What do you think? Should we do straight or should we do an angle? Do you have a preference? Does anyone have a preference? What do you think? Should we do angled or up and down? I know there's a little delay. I don't think anyone has a preference, so all right. We'll just do it like that, at an angle. Okay. Oh, thanks, Joan. Joan says angle. Awesome. All right. So next, we're going to stamp our sentiment. Now, the sentiments in this are really cute. You have some nice block fonts and some mixed block and script fonts. And one of them is this one here that says Yay All the Way. So Yay All the Way is a straight stamp. But what you can do with your photopolymer stamps is you can push them down on your block and curve them, and they will stay in place. See that? And when you do that, it's really fun. It gives you the ability to make some angled sentiments when the stamp isn't designed to be angled. Now, isn't that adorable? And then, now you could choose to stamp that down here. That would have been really cute, but I wanted to just fussy cut this a little bit. So I'm just going to cut it straight on the ends. And then it cuts really easily because it's just like a little zigzag here. And then I'll come back this way. And I'm going to move my paper and try not to move my scissors, right? It's always easier when you're fussy cutting, moving your paper, not your scissors. And now we have this adorable little element that we can add to our sled. How cute is that? So we're going to add a ribbon bow. So I'm going to mix up the ribbon to coordinate with the grays that I used. So I'm using a piece of the silver and white organdy ribbon. I took a piece and I cut it in half lengthwise. And now I have a piece that's a little more narrow that I can make this cute bow for my sled. And I'm just going to tie this. You can make long tails or short tails. The choice is yours. And I want a little bit of a longer tail. And now if you don't like the little bit of fraying that you get, it's okay. Play with your bow till you get it exactly how you want it. And then when you're all done, you can come in and you can cut these off. And then you don't have any of that fraying on your project. Okay, you just come in, cut all these, and then you're good to go. So now let's take a glue dot and let's add that to our project. I'm going to fold this in half so that it's just a little smaller dot. And then I'll put this on with my take your pick tool. And then I'm going to put a little, I'm going to use the edge of my dimensional sheet to get a little strip that I can put behind this. Since I cut it a little narrow, this little strip will allow me to kind of follow the curve. So when you put it on your project, it keeps it down nice and flat. I want a little more over my sled, so I'm just going to take some of this off. There we go. All right, isn't that cute? And then last but not least, let's put some gems on here. So I love these gems. They're the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive backed dots. I've shared these before. I haven't used them in a while, and I love them. I don't know if you can see how pretty they have that little ribbon. Let me take them out. They have this little ribbon of metallic through the center. It's such a pretty detail. to add as an element on your project. So let's just take some of these and add them to our project. These are, maybe I should be using this side. That's better. And let's put this up here. There we go. All right, so now you can decide what you like better. Do you like the blue background or the stamped snowflakes? And on this one, I use the pecan pie out of this same set. And then on this one, I use the white. And you can see how beautiful. It's just such a nice accent with the grays. The white works really nice. And with the brown sled, the pecan pie ones look really great. But there's your first project. What do you think? Oh, Melissa likes the blue with all this texture that you can't feel, but it's so neat. It's so neat. Oh, thanks, Joan. Joan likes the blue as well. Oh, thanks, everyone. I'm glad you like it. The blue does almost help the sled pop a little more, doesn't it? Which is kind of interesting because you think it would pop on the white. All right, so that's project one. So let's move on to our second project, which is this adorable little tag. I love this little tag. I think it's so cute. And we're going to make it in a second color so that you can see an alternative. We're going to do this is a traditional Christmas with, oh, thanks, Janet. Traditional Christmas with red and silver, but we're also going to make it with gold, and I'm going to pull in more of a Victorian Christmas color, and we're going to use some petal pink with the gold. So some people like pink for Christmas, some people don't. If you like Victorian, you probably enjoy using that gold. So I am using a brand new product that is going to be available starting in November. I was able to pre-order it as a demonstrator, and this is the brushed gold and silver specialty paper. I love it. I don't know if you can see the texture in there. It's really neat. Can you hear that? It's got really cool texture to it. And I use the silver on this one. I'm using the gold on this one, and I did pre-cut those runners. And then one of my favorites are this silver and gold 1/8 inch ribbon. I think that this is such a staple, and they come together in one pack. I use the silver with the silver foil with the red and black, and then white snowflakes. On the one we're going to make together, we're going to mix it up, and we're going to use silver, and we're going to change up the color of our snowflakes as well. So let me show you how I made this. So for the base of this tag I wanted to open like a card. So when you die cut it, you have to make sure that you don't die cut it all the way through, and that you leave a little bit at the top so that you can have it stay together. So this is a 2.5 inch by 11 inch piece of basic white cardstock. It's not thick, it's regular. You could use thick if you wanted. And I'm going to die cut this shape with this outline die that was used to die cut the sled on the card. This is going to give us our shape. But when we die cut this, we're going to want to slide it up. So there's the tiniest of gaps right here at the top. See how I'm going to have this cutting edge sticking out a little bit above the cardstock, and that's going to allow this to stay together so that it doesn't come apart into two once it's die cut. So let me run this through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine here. I've got my little machine ready to roll. Okay, so now we will have our card base all set to go. And here is See how it's together there? So we have our card base. That's perfect. So now when I cut this, I should have used my adhesive sheets and I didn't, which makes me a little bummed because it makes it so easy. But we're going to adhere the runners. So the runners were die cut with this die here. These are the runners to the sled, and it coordinates perfectly with the die cut sled top, which we're going to use as well. And you can make this cute little detailed piece. Now, if you add a piece of adhesive sheet to your metallic paper before you die cut it, all I would have had to have done is pull the back off and stick it down, which makes it so much easier. Get those adhesive sheets. I was in a hurry here finishing this just before I jumped on and I wasn't thinking. So I'm just going to add the tiniest little bit of liquid glue to this and then stick it down to my tag base. And then you can make sure that you center it. And then you'll want to just give it just the minute to dry. All right, and while that's drying, we're going to die cut our sled base. So we're going to take this die here. This one die cuts both pieces. It cuts this front piece as well as the main piece. So let's die cut these. This tag goes together really quickly. Okay. So you can see how it does both pieces here. So that's going to be our front. Ooh, this is really pretty with the gold. And this is the base piece. Now I have just a couple little areas to poke out here that help give you the detail. All right, so now it really starts to look. And then there's also some little like rivet holes. You could leave these in if you wanted to. What I like about these is it allows the metallic paper to show through, so it almost looks like the little rivets for your sled, which is really fun. And then there's a couple here as well. You could add little metallic dots or gems to these if you wanted. And now if I was making a card, I would probably adhere these right down to my element, but since this is a tag, I just really want to build up some dimension. So I'm going to add some dimensionals to this so that it pops up a little bit from my tag. So let's put a couple here. Actually, I really don't need those ones in the middle, so let's just move those. There we go. And we can put this down, and this will go down towards the bottom a little bit. And I'm going to line this up so that you get the metal showing through all those cute little dots. This one made it back in its spot. Okay. So see how you can kind of see the metal shining through? Isn't that cute? And now this one here will need just a couple of small pieces. So you could either cut dimensional in half. I'm just going to cut a couple of little rectangular pieces here. If I had a little tweezers, I would use it because it would make it a little easier. So we'll just put these here, and then we'll put one in the center. There's a little bigger spot there and it fits. And then we can layer this, whoops, right over. And again, you can just look and see where the metal is. Whoops, I'm down a little low. There we go. There you go. Isn't that cute? All right, so now we pretty much have the base of our tag done. From here on out, we're just adding all the little pretties. All right, so let's stamp our sentiment. So we have this really cute Let It Snow. I think it's adorable. Let's just stamp it in black and keep that part simple. And then we're going to fussy cut that. Let it snow. Super cute. And then we're going to bring in our real red and white twine. This is out of our mini catalog. And then I have the adhesive back snowflake assortment. So this is from my online store, and you'll find it in the online exclusive section. We're going to use some of our gold snowflakes to dress this up. So let's pull those out, and then some of our gold ribbon. All right. So first things first, let's get this fussy cut. What do you think? Are you liking the sled? Tell me if you had the opportunity to go sledding when you were a kid. It was like my absolute favorite thing to do. And then when I got older, I was able to ski, and then I just loved skiing. I used to go skiing every single day after school. I'd ski for 2 hours, then my dad would pick me up on his way home. It was super fun. The benefit of having a ski hill right within walking distance in your hometown, right? So I'm just fussy cutting this, and I'm fussy cutting it pretty tight. All right. So that was not hard to do. It's little. So now we're going to adhere this. Whoops, I didn't realize I had a little edge there. Let me get that. All right. So now I'm going to layer this with one of these gold snowflakes in the background. So I'm going to take one of the large snowflakes. I'm going to decide where I want this, and I think I kind of like it there. Now I'm going to take one of these large snowflakes and kind of set it, and then layer this over the top of that. I just think that looks so cute. And I'm going to put this on with a dimensional. So I'll put a mini dimensional there, and then I'm going to cut a little piece of dimensional to go on this other edge. So it's nice to have these little sides to your dimensional sheets because you can use them for small spaces like that. Okay. Now we can take a couple of our other snowflakes and just layer them maybe here and here. And these are all different shapes. They're so cute. I love those. Look how pretty that is. Oh, so Joan sled and tubed. Yes, tubing was so fun. I loved tubing. All right, so let's take our punch. So Janet would go to Selena and sled. Wasn't it just so fun? And then what was the most common after sledding meal when you came home? What did you always have? Let's see if you both always ate what my family ate. So I am using a really tiny hole punch, and I'm going to punch a hole in the center right here that I'm going to put my twine through, and I'm just going to punch it twice and make it just a little bit bigger. All right. Now this is red soup or chili, okay? So this is red and white, but let me show you a trick. This might look like one color of twine to you, but this actually gives you 3 options. So let me show you the options. So you have red and white, and the red and white doesn't really match, right? So I'm going to take this red strand, I'm going to unravel the end just a little bit and grab this red strand and watch. Pull it right out. So now you have red and white, you have red, or you have white. So you have lots of options here. So now we're going to take this, I'm going to open it up just to make it a little easier. I'm going to thread it through. So my family, we always had sloppy joes and hot cocoa when we came home from sledding. Sloppy joes and hot cocoa. All right, so I'm going to kind of thread these through, kind of grab it on the other end. I need to make my hole just a little bit bigger. So I'll line it up and hit it one more time. So my kids never have, they get to sled, but we just don't get much snow here in Northwest Ohio to make it the same. Like it was just an all-day event when I was growing up. All right, so I have one side through. I'm just gonna trim my end a little bit here. And then let's put it through here. I'm struggling. I need a little bigger punch. So if you have a punch that's just a smidge bigger than your twine, that would be the best. There we go. That'll work. So now let's get it through here. Oh my goodness. I promise it wasn't this hard earlier. Went right through. There we go. My heavens. All right. So now we have our white twine that we struggled way more than we needed to. And you can make your hanger as long or as short as you want. So after you tie your knot, you can trim this. And what I like to do is I like to fray this, but you don't have to. You can fray all these little sections apart, and I think it just adds some really nice texture to the top of your tag. Isn't that cute? All right, and then last but not least, we're going to take some of this beautiful gold ribbon and we're going to tie a bow right at the top of our sled. So I pull it nice and tight right across both strands of the twine. There we go. And then you can play with your bow and get it exactly how you want it. And when it's how you would like it, you can trim your ends and make them whatever length you would like them. And that is your adorable tag. So what do you think? Do you like the tag? Aren't those dies adorable? So here's your tags and here's your cards. So all kinds of options. You have traditional and more Victorian, colorful, black and white, even though it's really gray. Thanks, Joan. I thought it made the cutest little tag ever. So if you're loving this bundle and you would like to create with it even more, this is the featured bundle this month for Creatively Inked. That's my DIY paper crafting kit. That's the featured bundle for the October 2024 kit. The subscription period for this month's kit ends on the 20th. So you have a little more than a week left to make sure that you get the kit. And if you choose to add your bundle to your kit, you're going to save almost 20% on it because I'm going to pay your shipping and your tax. And again, here are all these cute projects that you're going to receive. And what I love about this month's projects, they are all gift card holder cards. Yes, you will be ready for the season with all your gift card holders. Now, if you don't want to put a gift card in them, they still look awesome and you would never know that they're a gift card holder. You can create them just as they're designed and you do not have to put a gift card in them, but they all have amazing little spaces that were designed to hold a gift card. All right, so I will put the link to more details and to subscribe to Creatively Inked in the description of this video when we're done. And I hope you enjoyed seeing today's projects. So thanks for stopping by, and I will look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye, everyone.